Welcome back to From Soft Serve. From Soft Serve here, and it's going to be kind of a weird jump cut straight into the video because NVIDIA goofed up my recording in a way. I don't use NVIDIA, but their overlay, it was an audio issue. Anyway, the vocals, hopefully they sound okay. I altered the noise reduction and tried to make them sound good. I had to boost the levels a lot, and so I think it ends up sounding pretty okay, but basically Dark Souls Re-Remastered version 0.76 is out today. It was out technically last night, and has bug fixes for Sens Fortress, Firelink Shrine, Undead Burg, and actually has some updates to Northern Undead Asylum, but I'm recording this after I recorded the video because I goofed up. So anyway, enjoy the video. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. On for like an entire hour like that other video. And then I also fixed, there was a distant mesh problem that was actually in Undead Burg, but from here you could view it because I had it set to a draw group of 0. And so you could basically see it from here because this is the inflection point between two maps is right up in this aqueduct. So from here you could actually see something in Undead Burg. And the way that you would know that is by the different coloring and fog sort of look, how they're shaded. And so if they're all bluish, then they are on the Firelink Shrine map. If they are completely differently colored, you know they're loading from the Undead Burg map. So that was an easy way for me to go, oh, okay, let me fix that. Oh, look at this blur. Oh, that depth of field's so good. One day I am going to have to go in and fix, like for instance, this little piece. Look how like sharp that is. I could definitely smooth that out into the sort of like rock wall here, because that is a bit much. And then you also see, you know, this needs to be smoothed out. There's quite a few areas where like it's just overly simple geometrically, like here as well. And so there's quite a few cases where it just needs to be smoothed out, and then make sure the UV mapping is decent. Undead Burg actually got a pretty big upgrade because I thought I had already done this, but apparently I hadn't. I converted it over to prepare to die values as well. Beforehand, I had sort of gotten it close, but turns out I had forgotten some key things like collisions and a few other things. So anyway, I converted it like all the way over, and that actually involved a ton of work because Undead Burg has the most map pieces, specifically for me because of how many distant ones I'm doing and the things I've added to it. It's the most complex out of any of the maps. So the big difference is that now there should be dark interiors sufficiently like Prepare to Die. And the player lantern turns on automatically. I had to go line by line through areas to make sure that the lantern only really turns on when it needs to. Also, I guess I've modified, well, somehow the map piece is now correctly letting light through, like Prepare to Die, which is interesting. Yeah, because normally like this light wouldn't come through, even though it is doubled up. So somehow that's interesting. Maybe it wasn't visible somehow. I don't know. Anyway, maybe it was the lighting changes. You can still see the gorgeous parallax occlusion mapping on this wall. Oh, so beautiful. I love parallax occlusion mapping. It's got to be one of the smartest rendering techniques. I mean, the fact that you can fake a 3D like geometric wall when it's actually in reality completely flat, like that, to me is just that's the coolest shit in the world. And I would love to put that on every single surface that would benefit from it. The problem is the game, there's definitely a way it's being communicated to the map pieces. Which one gets that and which one doesn't. Because I can make a height map for things, but it doesn't necessarily actually like activate, right? There has to be like shader params that actually tell it how to handle that, right? But yeah, so Undead Burg, I think, got a little bit less warm color to it now that I changed over a lot of the lighting settings. One by one, which, my God, took forever. But now it's more of a neutral color palette, which is actually more accurate to Prepare to Die. So that's kind of my overall North Star here is Prepare to Die, as I'm sure everyone is sick of me saying. But, you know, just playing it. That's why I worked on the other mod. I know some people were confused as to, like, why doesn't he finish the other mod? It's like, you know, sometimes you do need inspiration from other mods, other projects. It's that classic Miyazaki quote that I really loved, which was basically like, yeah, I work on multiple projects. Like, that's how I get my inspiration. That's how I keep my brain fresh. Of course, I'm paraphrasing there, but he was like, yeah, that's the norm for Miyazaki. And so I, you know, who am I to judge Miyazaki? The other thing is I had it on the wrong, well, I wouldn't say wrong, but the actual X and Y coordinates for the shadows. I guess at some point I had switched them over to match Firelink Shrine, and I forgot that. And so now you'll actually see sun coming in right here, where normally it was completely shadowed. Now, interestingly, in Prepare to Die edition, they actually do not, the bridge up here is not shadow casting in Prepare to Die. And so that's why you'll notice in the default game, there is no shadow that hits this area. But that's because they don't have the bridge set to shadow casting at all. So that's why this will be more realistic, but yeah, in case you were wondering why there's a shadow when there is not in the unmodded game. But yeah, so you see the player lantern turn on, which is real nice. Cool beans, love to see it. Now you will notice this is the classic bonfire from Prepare to Die edition. I have updated my mod description with a link to a mod that basically you can download, and it's compatible with my mod, and it will give you Prepare to Die edition bonfires in remastered. So pretty cool, because I get a lot of comments about that of like, oh my god, that's the real thing I want. And I sometimes forget to comment. I usually comment on the ones that I see where I go, yeah, you can go here and download it. And originally the mod, the actual like work was done by Drop Off, who is sort of an absolute, well, not sort of, like, they are a legend in the modding community. And they modded, like, whenever Armored Core 6 came out, of course, they were the first one to put the character from GTA San Andreas into Armored Core. That's Drop Off. Drop Off has done everything cool, everything amazing. So, yeah, that, not surprising. But then I guess the mod author got authorization to be able to release it. So, yeah, you can go download this. There's a link in the mod description. I'll put it in the description of this video as well. The other thing is actually that mod also has material changes, where they change up the MTD file for Dark Souls Remastered and basically bring back a lot of the material handling from Prepare to Die. It just alters it to make it closer to that, essentially. And yeah, so I recommend that as well. That's also compatible with my mod. Because I don't mess with the MTD file. So yeah, added those to the description because I think those are a good addition to sort of help it be even more Prepare to Die edition like, right? That's the goal. Yeah, let's go more into Undead Burg because that way you can see more of like the darkness on the interiors. Because that's definitely what my mod was missing. And a lot of that is due to how I was updating the areas and modifying the lighting. Is a lot of it was like I would change all of the lighting IDs for like the map pieces, so that way I could get like a very consistent look, and it was easier for editing, right? But the problem is it also took away some of the contrast, and so I've kind of brought that back painstakingly of going back and making sure all the RGB values and everything match Prepare to Die edition, except for the luminance. That value is goofy and does not work with remastered very well, and the other one being the invdiff number can vary sometimes. So there's a lot of fiddling that has to be done. It's not one-to-one at all. I'm kind of glad that it is. Like, I don't know, I guess it would be a little disappointing if it was literally just like, oh, I just copy and paste. Because then it would be really weird why QLock didn't just do that if it was just a copy and paste job. But yeah, it's definitely different. So I think QLock just kind of altered the values and then kind of went with what they wanted to, but it didn't really match up to Prepare to Die very well at all. I would just assume it was a time restriction where they were changing the values, but they didn't really, I don't know. Yeah, I think they were just rushed. But anyway, I can say they definitely changed a shit ton of values. Like on RGB values for light IDs, for fog IDs, they were I thought it was like very minimal, but no, they changed an absolute shit ton of stuff, like unbelievably. And a lot of it is like small tweaks, like, oh, this RGB value is 10 higher than Prepare to Die edition, or this rotation param is like 10 degrees more than this. And there's just a lot of tiny little changes that added up to pretty significant. Now, God, I still love that you can see the Moonlight Butterfly Castle from here. I'm proud of that change. And it's also depth of field, real nice. The amount of work, I look back to the amount of work that has gone into making these look coherent and function and all render at the right times. Like, had I known how much work would be involved in this mod at the beginning, like, I don't even know if I would have done it. I probably would have, because I'm a sadist and I love Dark Souls so much. But my God, when I think back, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've spent hundreds of hours on this. But I've also loved it, you know? It's been a great time. So yeah, like the contrast is just phenomenal. And, you know, there's no more performance issues, no more erectile dysfunction for Dark Souls. Like, look at that bloom. Oh, it's so good. God, I love it. And then the player lantern turns on at the perfect times. I basically found that the way that I could tell when the player lantern needed to be turned on, and then I could keep it off, because I had turned it off completely, right? But basically every area that Prepare to Die had the lighting ID of 11, that's when I knew that that's when they turned the player lantern on. That's the one I needed to maintain. So I just basically, for every single collision that had a lighting ID of 11, I basically kept the lantern on. And that was a lot of staring at numbers and slowly going between the two values. And yeah, I don't recommend it. My eyeballs probably hate me, but it was worth it. Oh shit. Okay, you know what? You do your fire. You know what? You do your fire. I gotta go down. I gotta go downstairs. So you go. You do what you want. I gotta warp to Undead Parish. Because Sens Fortress, I had a lot of bugs that I had missed. Basically, I think they were from previous modding stuff that I just didn't realize that I was wrong, and I hadn't basically updated some of the model files to turn off backface culling, essentially. So there's quite a few areas that I fucked up, and so I fixed a lot of those. And the lighting changes in Sens Fortress basically alerted me to that. And yeah, so that's where a lot of my time went, was fixing that, updating lighting IDs for interior areas, and it was a whole lot of that. And yeah, I also fixed how the front portion of it was too bright. It's because I hadn't altered the light map. I still have not fixed the floating trees. I'm working on that. I want to find a good solution to the floating trees, because I'm always like, well, what if I just lift the ground? But I have to kind of separate that ground mesh. I think I could just do that in Fiverr Editor. I think I can just do that and separate the ground mesh and then just lift the ground mesh up, because I don't think it needs to be as low as it is. And if anything, I actually think it'd be really cool if you could see the river, like little stream here, better. Because I think it looks kind of weird the way it is right now, where it's just like this water source, but there's nothing really keeping it in that shape, right? Like there's no indentation that would keep the water only being that size. So I don't know, I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I plan on like just probably lifting the, because I think the ground looks weird. Like it looks the wrong color, right? It looks really bluish when like, there's no reason for it to be bluish. I don't know. It just doesn't look right to me. So I'd love to actually like fix the coloring. I'll probably look at that today. That's a nice little project. I also figured out something. Basically, I have found another surface. So this texture here is set to be dog shit looking. Oh, uh-oh. God damn it. I fucked up the... Damn it. I fucked up the gate. I just now realized I must have fucked up the gate somehow. Shit. God damn it. What did I do? That must be the normal map or something? Ah, fuck. I think I saved it as the wrong file type. Well, whatever. Okay, I'll fix that. Oh, the things I find. But yeah, going into Sens Fortress, you know, obviously very dark interiors. Player lantern, you know, functioning when it needs to. But yeah, unfortunately, this texture is set to be dog shit. I had it all upscaled all the way to 4K, and I just never realized that in game it never took hold. No matter what you do, it just doesn't load it. And Prepare to Die does not have that problem. So I got to find another solution to switch it to a different texture, but I can't name it the same thing, and I can't reuse the actual texture itself because there's essentially, from what I can tell, metadata in that texture that the game actually picks up on. And so it's what the ceiling problem I had in Orlando, where it knows that texture and it says nope, and so you have to actually just switch it to something completely different. And so I guess I'm going to try to, maybe I'll use a different texture, paste in the current texture that I want, but it'll still be using the metadata of the other texture. I don't know. Basically, I have to trick it. I have to fucking trick it, and that's fine. Because it doesn't look great. Like this wall here, all of this should look a lot better. And the sad part is it's actually one of the like most vital textures that's used the most often. Also, I think he's colored incorrectly. Ah, damn. The collision here must be a little wonky. Because, yeah, you can tell. Basically, the collisions handle the lighting for enemies and the player. And that's a quick way to know that, like, it got fucked up. I believe I killed the ball guy. I killed the ball guy, so I should be good now to go in here. But, yeah, you can see the interiors are very dark. Things look correctly. I had to update these Black Knight statues because they were set to the wrong light ID. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Okay, you broke my... Oh my god. Whew. Clutch. Absolutely clutch. I will say the textures that have correctly upscaled and displayed, I think they look fantastic. The new normal maps are putting in some work. They look fucking great, so... Hey, I killed Ball Guy. Uncool. I guess Ball Guy fucking comes back. Oh, shit. Alright. Well, you fucking played me. I guess they just put balls in... Oh, that's close. These were set to the incorrect lighting ID. There was so many things in Sens Fortress that I had basically fucked up. I had to set a lot of these to not coal the back faces. That was definitely an issue. Let's see, that's right. There's a lot of like interior areas of Sens Fortress that I don't really go to that often. And so that's actually why they were fucked up. There's a lot of places in Sens Fortress I don't go to very often. So I think it was just my habit of not going there, and I didn't see the issues. So I've just had to be a little bit more observant, and which is a good reminder. If you want to post bug reports, which obviously will happen, right? As with any mod, I recommend Discord, to be honest. Oh, so he comes back. That's great. What the fuck, man? That's uncool. Yeah, I recommend Discord. You can post a screenshot there. It's a lot better. I did find out what this flickering was. Turns out it is there by default. And it's there in Prepare to Die. You can actually fly around in DS Map Studio, and you can see that basically this is interacting. These two map pieces. There's the interior and the exterior. For whatever reason, it doesn't show up in Prepare to Die, though. Like, they're set to the right draw groups and everything, because basically the interior should not be rendering at this point. And the default draw groups are clearly not doing that. So I have to figure out some other solution. The other problem is I can't alter the map piece that's on the inside to delete the face that's in there, the mesh face, because that's actually a vinyl mesh face that you would see from the inside. So I can't do that. It's also visible from both sides, which I think I just need to go into Blender and learn specifically how to tell it to, because I know how to flip normals, right? But I need to maybe just flip the faces, because it's visible on both sides. So I need to understand how to delete one side of it, because in Blender it just looks like one thing, where if I delete it, it deletes the whole thing. I need to tell it, basically, this mesh face on this side, you won't see it, but on the other side you'll see it. So a lot of mesh faces were already set up like that. So I think I just have to compare and contrast. Ooh, I got the great sword. I think I already have like 3 of those. But Sens Fortress is still, I think, the one I'm most proud of. I think the blur looks fucking awesome, and the lighting. Now, one interesting thing about Sens Fortress I have not figured out is that on like the geometry or the map pieces, you don't see a lot of like shadow moire issues. There's some on like distant mountains, but generally you don't see a lot. And I don't know why this is. I don't know why it looks so good. And in other areas, it's absolute shit. I don't know, to be honest. Like, I've looked at the shadow settings I'm using, and those aren't different. I'm thinking it might be a light map related thing, where the only difference with Sens Fortress currently is that I'm actually still using the baked light maps. I just altered them, and I had to paste them as a certain color. And versus where in other areas like Undead Burg, which has a ton of shadow moire, I switched them over to white and uncompressed DDS. So I'm wondering if it's somehow a DDS compression issue and that it's causing the moire, where there's something with the game engine where like you'll just see on these surfaces here like there's none. So at least I know what to look at as to like what is causing an issue, because in Sens Fortress it looks great. It's an acceptable level of moire. Like there's a little bit up here on this little surface, but mostly it's really clean looking. Let me hop over here. I didn't actually. Let me suck down and S this real quick. Whoop. I forgot you could just hop over here. Hey, what up, nerd? What's going on, dog? I killed you last time and I didn't know that you respawn. Like that's rude. That's actually really, oh man, his textures are actually pretty bad. Or at least parts of them are. Okay, you're also kind of floating, but that's just a collision issue. Don't worry about it. Hey, are you gonna tire yourself out? No, you're doing that. Oh, you got blood all over you. Oof. Yeah, dog, what's up? Eat it. Yeah, so anyway. Oh, you can't destroy these balls? Really? Whoop. Nice. Well, we'll end the video there. Really just a quick update. A lot of bug fixes. It's good shit. You can download it. Link in the description. I will try to remember to put the material MTD file mod thing that is compatible with my mod and the classic bonfire. It's actually part of the same mod listing, right? I think it's called Dark Souls Remastered Visual Overhaul. It was from a couple years ago or a few years ago. And they, I think they started updating the certain parts of it again. But there's only 2 parts that specifically can work with my mod, which is the material updating, which will handle armor and water, and also the classic bonfire. So those things are compatible with my mod because I don't alter those files. So a really nice way if you want to restore even more of Prepare to Die. And personally, I recommend it. I think it does actually enhance the game even more. And I guess for me, it's like I could try to figure that out on my own, but it's also like reinventing the wheel when like there's not really a big need to. Technically, I guess I could just message drop off and be like, hey, would you mind if I put it in my mod? If that's all that this person did. But I don't think that's the case. I think the material updating was their own. I think the classic bonfire portion was just a drop off thing. But anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, look forward to the next video. And I'll keep working on Dark Souls Re-Remastered. I have some more textures to upgrade, more normal maps. Bringing over some normal map upgrades from my Prepare to Die Edition mod that I had done more there than I had done in Re-Remastered in certain areas. And then I need to go through... I need to go through some other areas and convert over the Prepare to Die values. I have to kind of keep going through that. So Duke's Archives, Catacombs, Tomb of the Giants. I had to kind of do that. Luckily, those zones are a lot smaller, so I've kind of knocked out many of the big ones, right? And that's the key. So anyway, consider liking the video, sharing it, comment for the algorithm. I also have a Patreon linked in the description if you'd like ad-free versions of these videos. And so that way you don't get NordVPN ads or whatever the hell kind of ads they're running. I weirdly get survival kit ads, which I have no fucking idea why, but whatever. Apparently I'm a survivalist, even though I'm not at all. I'm the opposite, but whatever, YouTube. Do what you gotta do. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.